Welcome back, my sweet friends. It is so good to see you again. Oh, I love Tuesdays for this. Today's video is a follow-up to Friday's big grocery haul we did. We are so excited to share this with you. Let's start off. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. He's behind the camera. We took our grocery haul from Friday and we did a meal prep video for you all, which we hope will be encouraging and helpful. So many times we buy produce and we buy meat and we don't use it in a timely fashion, or we don't preserve it the way we should, and it ends up in the garbage. And that is a total waste of money and a waste of food, which is just not good. We hope some of the techniques we use, how we did things, will encourage you to do your own food prep. So sit back, relax, enjoy this video. Again, thank you for being here. Let's get to work. One thing we have to remember when we buy produce is, no matter what you pay for it, even if it's a great price like these peppers were at 99 cents a pound, if we let them spoil, then we have just thrown away money. So what I am going to do right now is cut these up and get them in the freezer, because just a couple days, that's all it takes for them to go bad. So let's do this. Voila! There they are, all cut into strips. Now I cut my peppers into strips because I use them in sausage and peppers, in omelets, things like that. I take out however many I need and I fry them up or cut them up, whatever it may be. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to freeze them so they don't come out in one big clump, but they come out individually from the freezer, which is a really great economical tip. So this is what I do. I just take my peppers, put them on a baking sheet. I have my mat under it, but you can use parchment paper, and I will just take them like this and freeze them. Then when I take them out of the freezer, they will be individually frozen. Take the time to freeze your vegetables like this, please. You're not taking a big clump of vegetables out when you don't really need to use them. You're banging it against your kitchen counter, trying to get a clump of vegetables out. If you do it this way, you're going to be able to reach your hand in and pull out what you need from the bag. Okay, our next zero food waste item is the 3 pounds of onions I bought. Now, if I do not get these sliced and get them in the freezer, I guarantee they will be going bad super quick, because we don't eat that many onions. At this price, 3 pounds for 99 cents. And you guys are always encouraging me to do this. So let's get these sliced. Now I remember why I don't like these yellow onions. Oh my gosh. My eyes are burning and tearing. Yeah, this is not fun. Oh. Yeah, I will do this now, but next time I'm going back to my medallion. Before you all tell me every hint and trick on how to not get your eyes to tear, I put glasses on. I did them under running water. My whole kitchen, the fumes of onion, oh my goodness. I did this, but this is not something I think I would do on a regular basis. The Vidalia onions I use, I'm sorry, they're just nicer onions. They're friendlier, I guess. These are going right into the freezer, but I am going to cover them with plastic wrap, only because I don't want this smell to permeate everything in my freezer. These are done. They are nice and frozen and hard. And you can see how they're all separate. So what I do now is just put them all in a bag. This is a Ziploc freezer bag. I'm going to try to make this as flat as I can. Get that air out of there. And voila. Now, because they're frozen, they will stay separated. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with these lovely onions. Paul, can you smell these onions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're aromatic.
How did I look when I came outside before?
You were crying.
I was sobbing, wasn't I? You're going to be able to grab exactly what you need when it comes time to cook it. And this way, we don't have to worry about this food going bad or spoiling. And we have gotten our money's worth now. Nothing worse than spending money on produce and it goes into the garbage. Even Dixie agrees. So I'm gonna put these 2 bags in the freezer. And now, I know a lot of you have asked me what kind of food saver I have. And we just have the regular Food Saver vacuum sealer. Here is the model number. We've had it several years. It works perfectly. We really do save money by using this. And that one initial purchase, what we did is we bought it on Kohl's when they had 30% off, and then you got Kohl's cash back. So we paid a great price for it. But this is an invaluable tool for food preservation. So let's get over to Paul and start prepping.
Okay. This London broil obviously is too big for both of us. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it in half. So I have the meat cut in half. And now what I'm going to do with the machine here is I'm going to roughly pull out some of the bag that I think this is going to fit in. So I think that's about right. There's a cutter right here. I'm going to cut the bag. And now I got to seal one side of it first. So you close the lid, you hit the seal button, and that's going to seal it up.
This is not a promotional video in any way. We are not getting paid by Food Saver, nothing like that. This is just something we use as a frugal couple to save money. It vacuum seals our meats, cheeses to make them last longer in the freezer without freezer burn, and that in turn saves you money. We buy our bags on the Food Saver website when they do have a sale, or when Amazon has a sale, or Kohl's. When the red light turns off, we know it is sealed. There you go. And here we have one piece of meat, completely vacuum sealed. And now what I do is I just date the meat, and we use the oldest meat first. We just keep rotating.
Okay, so I divide up this package of meat into 8 ounces of small packages for hamburgers or something for just the 2 of us. And then I make a couple packages bigger for either a meatloaf, or if we're going to have 4 hamburgers if somebody comes over.
Family pack of ground beef. We get a lot of mileage out of it. Here is 8 ounces. We use our digital scale. I have told you that in other videos. This was one of the greatest purchases we found at Goodwill, because when you're measuring things out, it makes it a little more accurate. You're not wasting food. Again, super important. So this is 8.8 ounces, which is exactly what we want, because like Paul said, it'll make 2 hamburgers. I will measure it, he seals it, and we put it right in the freezer. Continuing on with our zero food waste prep, I have some bones left over from a prime rib that we had bought on sale at Easter time. I had made it for my son's birthday, which was at the end of April, so I just stuck them in the freezer. You see the difference? This was in a regular plastic bag, and you can see the ice coating on this, which our meat, when we do it in the Food Saver, does not get. But this is fine because they're just bones. Now, I want to make stock out of this. They've already been roasted. Then I will pick the meat off. So I've got 2 beautiful beef bones in there. And then to that, I have got a plate of cut up carrot, celery, onion, and a big clove of garlic that I don't want too much. This is a quart. Oh, sorry about that. That's a quart. This is another 2 cups. So altogether, this is 6 cups of liquid, which I think will be perfect. I am going to add a little bit more garlic powder because that never hurts. A little bit more onion powder, some fresh ground black pepper. Now, like I said, this meat has been roasted and seasoned, so it's got a ton of great flavor. And we're going to get some really good beef stock out of this. Super easy to do, and I'm not wasting the bones or any of the meat that is left on the bones. So I'm going to give this a quick turn, put it on high, cover it, and then I'll show you at the end what it looks like. I brought a pot of water to a boil, and we shucked 8 ears of the corn. We kept 4 to eat. And now what I'm going to do is blanch them. Very carefully put them in, and I'm just going to blanch them for about 5 minutes. And then we are going to take the kernels off of the cob and we are going to food saver them and put them away so we can have some fresh corn when it is full price. So I'm going to cover this and let it boil literally for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to drain it immediately. The corn blanched for 5 minutes. When you start to boil the water for the corn, make sure you don't fill it to the top, because then when you put the corn in, it is going to boil over. So make sure you leave enough room to add the corn. Now what I'm doing is just doing it this way because this is boiling hot water, so I'm gently taking them out, putting them in a bowl. Now what they say to stop the cooking process is to put them in a bath of ice cold water. I'm going to do it this way. My water is ice cold coming out of the tap, and I am just going to do it this way. And that will stop the cooking process. So we're going to let this run over it for a minute, just like this. And once it's cool enough to handle, we will cut it off the cob.
The corn has cooled, and now we're going to separate it, cut it off the cob.
And what I saw to use, which we've been using, is a bundt pan. And then, as you can see, I'm keeping the cobs. Why are we keeping the cobs? I take these cobs and I am going to boil them now and make a corn broth. And I will freeze that. I add it to ham soup. You can add it to clam chowder. If you make homemade clam chowder, she crab soup, it is the most delicious broth because there's so much flavor left in the cobs, as you can see. Look at all that. So that's what we're going to do. Look at how much we are getting. This makes me so happy. And again, just use caution when you're doing this. Just be careful. You're using a sharp knife. This is going to be amazing. Okay. We're finishing up the corn. These are 2 bags we've done already. We do them in 2-cup portions, which is perfect for recipes or if we want a side of corn. Paul's still finishing up the corn, and then we will be done. And the corn is ready for the freezer. I will date it now. Call me silly, but I just took 3 of the cobs and added it to the beef stock that I'm making in the crock pot. Why not, right? It'll add great flavor, probably a little sweetness to it too. 0 food waste. The beef broth cooked all day, and then what I did at the end of the day is I strained out the vegetables and I took the bones off, but on the bottom you could see I took all the meat off the bones. And after I strained it, I stuck it in the refrigerator. Fat congealed, and I'm able to take it right off the top, which is what I want to do because we do leave a little bit on, but we don't need all this. These are 1-cup containers, and I have shown you these when I showed you how I made my chicken stock. Now what I'm going to do is I just put them in here, and this is approximately 1 cup. And I freeze them just like this with the lid on. I've had these for a very long time. Put them in the freezer like that, and I know I have 1 cup of beef stock when I need it. And there's another item down for our food prep. Well, we did it all. It was a little bit of work, but worth every second of what we did. It was a cold, rainy weekend here in New York. It really was. It rained like the whole weekend, and we were in the 40s on some days. It was so cold. But we utilized that time to do some good food prep. So I hope this video was encouraging to you. What I did was every time we put something in the freezer, I added it to my freezer inventory so I know exactly what's in there. And when we took like the soup bones out to make the stock, I crossed those off and I put the broth containers on my inventory, how many of those we had. So now we are stocked. It feels good. We're able to know exactly what we have, no food waste, and we can make some really good, yummy, nutritious meals for the upcoming weeks. Thank you for spending this time with us. You know we love you so much. And if you didn't get to see Friday's video, I will link it down below. It was over $120 worth of food shopping for us, which is kind of large. But if you watch it, you'll see it was a lot of stock-up items. So thank you again for spending this time. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a comment, ring that notification bell, and please a big thumbs up. We love you. We appreciate you. Until our next video, be well, be safe, and we wish you blessings. Bye-bye.